I'm getting ready to start what is probably going to be my last fall read for this year. It's If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. I've heard so many great things about this book on social media. Everyone seems to really be loving it this year. It's a new release. I know it's kind of like a 90s nostalgia kind of vibe, so I'm really excited to dive into it, and hopefully you enjoy today's reading vlog. Page check-in on If It Makes You Happy. So far, I'm absolutely loving it, and I feel like this is the best kind of like 90s nostalgic kind of book that I have read. Sometimes when people try and do this kind of like throwback nostalgic vibe in their book, it's like kind of cheesy and corny, and it's like they just throw in random things that are like callbacks to the 90s, but part of the story still feels like they're not necessarily in the 90s. I don't know if this is making any sense, but like with this book, I don't get that vibe. Like I genuinely am being brought back to the 90s in this book, and it's in like a very natural kind of way. And so I'm loving it. I like both of our characters in this book so far, and I like the daughters' personalities. It's just so far a really, really cute, cozy, nostalgic romance. But we still have quite a ways to go, but so far that's what I am feeling. Okay, I am bound and determined to finish If It Makes You Happy today. I am currently only 30% of the way in. I think at my last check-in, I was only 25% of the way in. So, and that was days ago. We now are past Halloween, and I am such a mood reader. And so I really, really right now am like wanting to start my holiday romance reads and just holiday reads in general. But I want to finish this, and I was having such a good time with it before my holiday mind switch. But I saw a friend on TikTok, Laura, post her review of this book, and she said there is like some Christmassy aspects in certain parts of the book, because we're following them through a couple of different seasons. So she was like, this could still be a holiday read. I'm just not there yet in the story, but like I'm gonna finish this today. I have a coffee ready to go. I'm going to start reading it on my Kindle, and then if I start to get a little bit sleepy or anything like that, I'm going to switch over to audio, and I may try out like a new cozy hobby today. We'll see, but we are finishing this book today. Okay, I did finish If It Makes You Happy today. Finally, thankfully, got the job done, and I have to say, I absolutely loved it. I am pretty sure I'm going to give this one a 5-star. This book was so good, and this is the first book of this author's that I've read, and I do think I'm going to go read some more because honestly, and I think I said this in a previous clip, but no one does the 90s nostalgia vibe as good as she does, and it's because of her writing. And I did go look up some of the books that she already has out to see if they're all kind of like the same vibe, and I don't think they are, but I'm still just interested in reading some more of her writing because of how good it was. Because the way she was able to bring, like, okay, I feel like a lot of other authors, when they're trying to channel into like the 90s, the early 2000s, it's all based off of like slang and different things like that that they'll put into conversations, to where this author was giving us like the atmosphere of the 90s. Like there were different times where telephone conversation ended and there was mention of like the dial tone, or some of the different music, or even some of the different clothing styles, or even just like the coziness and like some of the recipes that they would make. And like, it was literally just everything. It wasn't just, because with those other authors, it's like there's none of that other atmospheric kind of mention of the 90s. It's literally just within conversation that they will like mention a 90s throwback kind of phrase, or mention like a celebrity or a pop culture event, or, you know, something like that. And this was totally different, and I loved it. I loved it so much. I also, something else that I really, really loved about this story is I felt like it was such a natural relationship progression for like the circumstances and personalities of both of these characters. And that, I loved that as well. I love whenever books feel really natural and normal. Sometimes I just need that instead of like a billionaire romance where it's completely like, when is this ever going to happen? You know, even though it's fictional, sometimes I do enjoy a romance book that seems like normal. I don't know if that makes any sense, but anyways, overall, I really loved this book, and this does have some Christmas vibes to it. It's not overly Christmas at all. I would definitely consider this mostly a fall read. The Christmas section of it is pretty short in comparison to the atmospheric fall vibe of the rest of the book. But if you're someone that's not into the holiday romance vibe yet, this would be a really good like transitional book, because it has mostly fall, mostly November, but then there is a little bit of the Christmas aspect at the end. So highly recommend. It was so good. Honestly, this book is pretty hyped up on Book Talk. I know whenever it first came out, like you could not get it anywhere. I think it's been restocked now and it's available for purchase. I might purchase a physical copy of it. Haven't decided yet, but genuinely would recommend it to anyone if you enjoy romance books at all. It was such a good read. But that is all for today's video, and I will see you in the next one.